right. Says I'm live and I got sound. Do I got sound? All right. I got sound. Okay. All right. I just had to verify with YouTube that I got sound because I had a 30-minute call with the examiner for my case with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and we got no audio. So, then I did a test where I record. So I have a recorder on a computer, and right now I'm asking it to record. Computer's been working real slow. And all right, looks like we're rolling. So I'm going to minimize that. Now I'm going to make this a three-way phone conversation because I have a party who will record it on the other end. Now, I only just scheduled this call um, while I was talking with the examiner and asked him to let the supervisor know that I would call back at 3 Eastern time today. So I don't know that Terry is available and Terry's going to pick up the phone, but we'll find out. But at least I'm prepared, verified that I got audio on YouTube. I'm backing it up with a recording on the computer, and I'm going to make a call here, and I'm going to get another party on the line, and then I'll make a three-way call, and he will be able to record on his end as well. So let's make that happen. Make that happen. Hey, I'm ready. Okay. I just verified YouTube is giving me audio. I'm live on YouTube right now. So now I'm going to go to a three-way call, and we'll see if we can get Terry on the line. And then I'll put the phone on speaker. Right now, you're just, this is just between you and me, and nobody knows who you are at this point. So let's see. Oh, I misdialed. I did 517. It needs to be 571. So, all right. Looks like phone number's right. I'm going to try this. Doesn't seem to be ringing. Huh. Yeah, it wasn't going through, so I just had to cancel it. I'm going to try it again. All right, hang on.
available. Record your message at the tone when you are.
Well, looks like Terry's not available. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. All right. I just want. Okay. Thanks. But when I merged, it went silent for a minute. It picked up and was giving me a recording that he's not available, and I hit the merge. And when I hit the merge for the calls, the recording that I was listening to went silent. It's like the phone had to kick in. So I just ended the call. We'll have to try this another time. I think maybe I will try calling the examiner and ask him to schedule a time, and we'll go from there. All right, my friend. Okay, thanks. We'll talk. We'll talk a little later. I'm going to stay live on YouTube here for a minute and just talk for a few minutes about this. Thank you, my friend. Okay, bye bye. Well, I had about a 30-minute conversation with the examiner on my case, and I let him know that I received his mailing from September in January. It's got a shortened statutory reply time of 2 months. He says, "Oh, that's too bad." Uh, you know, um, and then, well, we got into a little bit of the nuts and bolts and nitty gritty. I got a feeling I'm going to be surprised if Terry takes my call. I'm really going to be surprised. And I would be pleasantly surprised, I think. Now, possibly Terry had another schedule, and it appears as though the folks over at the patent office they can't call me unless something gets set up first. They can't email me unless something gets set up first, and the only thing they've set up is by mail, which I didn't get notice of and I didn't receive timely. And at any rate, I learned from talking with Michael Barker, the examiner, that my mail to the director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office back in the year 2021, June 2021, is not in my file. It's not in my file. And Michael Miller, the examiner, who likes to interfere in a man's intellectual property and such, is still employed at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So at any rate, I learned some things. I guess I can go ahead and stop this computer recording. Yeah, we'll stop that. All right. Don't need that. Too bad I didn't have that set up. Mama Doobie is here. Hello, Mama Doobie. It looks like I got 2 people in the chat and a thumbs up. So, yeah, we just got to keep pushing this forward here. I don't know what to do except just to keep pushing. The United States Patent and Trademark Office has some house cleaning to do. There's some accountability that needs to happen, and the fellow that I spoke with, Michael Barker, his demeanor was good. I felt I had a good conversation with him. It could have been much more adversarial. Um, so I learned a few things. And he gave me a whole bunch of numbers that I didn't write down because I was recording them. Uh, so, Lord, we'll just keep pushing on. I love you all. I'm fighting for you. We're going to get through this. I suppose if you're listening to me, chances are it's not for oral health. Chances are it's because you're in the freedom fight and you want to see things get straightened out. Have you been paying attention to Derek Johnson? If you haven't, I suggest you do. I suggest you do because he can see things that we can't see. In other words, he can see the forest through the trees. He can explain things in a way that you can understand that makes a lot of sense. He explains that we are under martial law. I've been telling you that for about a year. He explains that we are in continuity of government. I wasn't really aware of that. He explains that we are in devolution and reconstitution. And that this military operation is a global alliance of good men doing bad things to bad people. And all this has been happening behind the scenes, underground, without our knowledge. It's been a major, major operation. So it clarified for me a lot of what I have been thinking. Derek Johnson clarified for me because, well, people say, don't talk about religion, don't talk politics, don't talk about your sex life. Well, I voted in my lifetime 2 times. Ain't that something? Peace. Peace, brother. In my lifetime, I voted 2 times. Almost voted 3 times because I almost voted for Reagan. I don't think Reagan needs my vote. But when it came to Trump, so I think Trump might need my vote. If one vote makes a difference and I don't vote, oh, I'll be kicking myself in the butt, is how I was feeling. And the man did everything he said when he was campaigning. All his promises, he held to them, and he did more. Hello, traveler. And yet, the one thing that just was very, very hard for me was his push on that Jabberdewey. And I had thoughts, and I still have thoughts. And there's some good explanations out there that I'm not sure that are YouTube acceptable. Now, a lot of the truthers, a lot of the digital warriors, the freedom fighters, the citizen journalist, the digital journalist have had channel after channel after channel wiped out on YouTube, and they've gone to all other kind of platforms. I was kicked off all kind of platforms, social media platforms. I mean, I've been banned on Facebook for years. Uh, Twitter kicked me to the curb. Parlor. Um, the list goes on and on and on and on. Um, and so I I've managed to make it to this point a little over 260 videos and only one strike. And that strike was an interview I did with a woman from California. And it was because of the conversation that we were having about the face diapers. Um, now, YouTube did switch one of my videos to age restricted. That would have been one of my cannabis talks. And it appears it's okay to talk about cannabis, but if you show it, if I show it, uh, it better be age restricted, or I might get myself in trouble with YouTube and get a strike, or even get the channel taken down. Now I heard roughly a week ago, I think less than a week ago, that the CEO or the head of YouTube has stepped down. All this exposure that's going on with Twitter, um, the, uh, the failing of mainstream media, and the rise of social media news is obvious. Obvious it's happening. And YouTube, in the end, may be the place to be. However, when this is all over, what am I going to be doing? Am I going to be making these YouTube videos talking about this stuff? I don't think so. No, I'm going to, I imagine I'm going to want to be living my life privately, happily, and peacefully. So, as much as I would like to reach people and help them, um, that's a part of the reason I'm making these videos. But a major part is documentation. Okay, so I I I put these parasites in my court time and time again. It's all paperwork. Who's going to read it? Where are they going to go to read it? Now I got most of that stuff on the services page in the documents section. Who's going to read it? The talks, people will listen, and it helps me. Um, it helps me to hear myself talk in many cases where I'm trying to figure things out, and I'm so isolated. Um, um, Sometimes I go days without a conversation with anybody because I'm that isolated. Um, and so I've had to deal with more than any man should have to deal with alone. I've had to do this alone. Uh, Nobody to double check my paperwork for spelling errors or punctuation, or just the simplest stuff, right? Let alone the context. Um, Pretty much everything I've done, I've just done it myself, and it's been quite an experience. And don't think that it hasn't been scary for me. Don't think that I haven't been frightened. Don't think I haven't been laden with fear, because I have. been very scary. It's been very fearful. When you're being attacked and you have no idea what's coming next, you just know they don't stop, that they don't like you, they don't like your message, they don't want the people to be healthy, they don't want the people to be free. That's scary. And that has manifested its way all the way to you, because 99.9999999% of the people who will watch my video will not give it a thumbs up because they're afraid. If they're not going to give a thumbs up, they're not going to make a comment. If they won't make a thumbs up or a comment, they're not going to give a donation. They're not going to give a donation. And I've seen, I think I can safely say, less than $50 in donations in the last 3 months. And that's been really difficult, because I have existed on donations to the tune of about $200 a month, and just barely enough to scrape by. I'm still wearing rags. I'm still sleeping on rags, but I don't have to beg for money right now to survive. And so that's been good. I mean, I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask, or I called one lady and asked for a donation. I did. Outside of that, I don't know that I've ever really asked, but I have let you folks know that they are appreciated and how you can do it with the information in the description on my videos. So those who have supported me, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that includes my enemies, because for a fact, a large part of the donations that I got came from my enemies. And it's not a lot of money, but it's just enough that now they're in a position where they're on my good side, right? And they want to get on my good side so they can get in and mess things up. It's a lot easier to mess things up when you get on the inside than when you're just on the outside. So, for a fact, I can tell you that the majority of the donations I received came from the enemy. In fact, my Telegram channel came from the enemy. I didn't have the technical savvy. I still don't have the technical savvy to set up a Telegram channel. If you were to put a phone in my hand and put a gun to my head and say, set up a Telegram channel, you might as well just go ahead and pull the trigger if that's what your intention is, because I don't know that I could do it. But I would give it my best shot, and maybe I'd figure it out. But I don't know how to do it, and I don't feel necessarily comfortable in knowing how to do it. And I see Telegram channels set up in different ways, and I have it's set up different than mine, and I don't know how to. I just don't know how to get in and work the settings and do any of that. But the point is that citizen science, oral health, Telegram channels that I have, that got put together for me because they wanted to push me out of the patriot warrior channels and get me over talking about cannabis. They didn't want me talking about how to deal with your sheriff, about the Americans Notice of Liability, about how to own your authority, how to hold court. They didn't want me talking about that stuff. So they created that Telegram channel for me, which I've taken full advantage of. Well, maybe not full advantage of, but I've I work that every day. I work it every day. So, anyways, I'm not surprised Terry didn't pick up the phone. I will be surprised if Terry picks up the phone. I will be making another call back to Examiner Michael Barker, and we'll be recording that. We'll see how that goes. So, anyways, folks, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're warm. If you're out in the cold, we got snow here. Got another couple of inches last night and this morning. Supposed to get more snow later today. So for all of you in situations like I'm in, I hope you're warm. And then I know there's people got the air conditioning running in other places. So I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're safe. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you can relax. And I hope you're paying attention to Derek Johnson. I don't know the man. I've never spoke with the man, but I've been listening to him, and it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So hopefully that gives you a good feeling about what's going on, where this is going, and 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 hopefully that you stand, that you get some sand in your boots, you get some steel in your spine, and you stand and you fight. Hold that shield up, swing that sword, but don't fall on the sword. Some people go into battle and they just fall on the sword. You're not a good warrior when you got a sword sticking through you. So don't fall on the sword. Keep that shield. Protect yourself at all times. Swing that sword. Do what's right. It's time, past time, it's long past time for good men to do bad things to bad men. It's time, way past time. And men, it's up to us. The women and the children depend on us to protect them, to provide for them, to give them security and happiness. And this cabal has us so divided and has the men in America so emasculated, so brainwashed, so toxified and dumbed down and full of fear that they're so confused. It's an information war. Information wars. Wars are full of misinformation. Wars are absolutely full of misinformation. This is a misinformation war. It's full of misinformation. Now, compile that for me. I'm going to turn 65 here in a couple of months. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I'm going to turn 65 here in a couple of months. Well, I will, regardless, but I just hope I do it breathing. Right? Yeah, I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate that. I remember being young like, I don't know, not even 16 years old. And I said to myself, I will never complain about losing my hair. I won't complain about gray hair. And I won't complain about wrinkles. Because every lost hair, every gray hair, every wrinkle means that I got those days. And a lot of people aren't here with me today because they didn't grow to be old. I won't complain about it. Now, if we can reverse aging, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'd love to be in a body like I had in my mid 30s and early 40s, prime of my life, strongest I've ever been. I'd like that. I'd like that for you too. And for the deaf to hear, the blind to see, the crippled to walk, we're going to fix a lot of things, folks. They have been poisoning us in so many ways and killing us in so many ways. We are strong. We are resilient. And what we can do, we don't know. We don't know what we can do. We don't know how healthy we can be. We don't know what powers we have. They're teaching children between the age of 5 and 12 to see without their eyes. To see without their eyes. And they're doing it. Imagine every person that had eyesight and went blind, if they had had those teachings. You see, after 12 years old, apparently, it just is not really going to work because we get preconceived notions that such things are impossible. But when you have the mind of a child and you don't know that it's impossible, and it's not impossible because they're doing it. They're actually doing it. And I'm guessing that this isn't new. No, this isn't new. And that the cabal has had this power. And they can see without their eyes. So I could be right here. You can see this. You can't see this because you're using your eyes. And you can see without your eyes. Guess what you can see? You can see this. Yeah, you can see that. You can see the back of your head. Imagine that power in the hands of evil. That's what they've been doing. I'm sure of it. This isn't new. It's new to us. Imagine what we can do with those kind of powers for good. Just imagine. So, folks, this is an amazing time to be alive. It's been a very frustrating time to be alive. It's been, for so many people, very painful, emotionally, financially, spiritually. It's just medically, it's been torture. And a lot of people just haven't even been affected and they're just sound asleep. The trumpets are blowing. The people are waking up. We're going to own our authority, and we're going to hold all these parasites to account. And I'm going to see to it that you all have the opportunity for euphoric and non-euphoric oral rinse formulations for optimal oral health, to put a sealant on your teeth that is impermeable to acidics like apple cider vinegar and orange juice and grapefruit juice and tomato juice and all that stuff. Cannabis oral rinse formulations that prevent calcified plaques from accumulating on your teeth and gum tissue. Formulations that remove calcified plaques that have formed on your teeth or your gum tissue. And cannabis formulations that prevent gum tissue loss and rejuvenate lost gum tissue. And you can see this evidence on the homepage of the website, oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Oralhealthwithcannabis.com. You can find that in the description of the video. Should be in the description of all my videos. And the United States National Library of Medicine had it in print that if you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever. It's never coming back. In America, we average about 15 million root canal procedures annually. Every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth. Prior to this pre-mitochondria, toxic teeth, according to Dr. Thomas Levy, a heart surgeon, is the cause of 90% of heart attacks because he finds oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle of 90% of his patients. He claims it's the cause of the majority of breast cancer and can be a cause of virtually any inflammatory disease, and that every root canal tooth, every dead tooth is a toxic tooth. Some are more toxic than others, and everyone can become much more toxic because you've got tubules in those teeth that have no immunity, where bacteria and fungus can sit 5 side by side for 2 to 6 miles. And that bacteria can morph into deadly toxic bacteria. And then when it's in a molar, the immense pressure from chewing, Dr. Levy teaches us that's more effective than a syringe at delivering those toxins into your lymphatic system. To date, since 2015, one dentist came forward, and then after the raids, that dentist went into hiding. No other dentist since 2015 will say, I see it. And I will say, I see it. There are dentists that say, I see it. There ain't no way in hell I'm going to say I see it. That's what you're living with. Parasites. There isn't one medical professional on this planet, as of yet, even retired military. I got better things to do, Ethan. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got better things to do? I can think of some better things for you. Yeah, I can. Swore an oath to defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. A vet. Was a military doctor. I ain't going to say it, Ethan. Not one politician. Not one. I've reached out to hundreds. Rick Schneider here in Michigan. Oh, he couldn't be bothered. Gretchen, oh, she ain't going to do nothing to help. But she's going to lock you down. And then in the springtime, tell you can't go down the seed aisle and get seeds for your garden, for your lettuce and your tomatoes and your cucumbers and such. But cannabis business is essential during lockdown, unless you're Ethan. Yeah, you're just a dirtbag. You're just a criminal. You're just a Worthless, no good. Pain in their ass is what I am. I'm a pain in their ass. So your executive branch of your states, none of these governors are going to do anything. Your legislative branch, your states, none of them are going to do anything. Pro cannabis politicians, what a joke. Can't even have a conversation. And the representatives for me here in Michigan, Dara Rendon, Gary Peters, Jack Bergman, worthless. Absolutely worthless. They ain't going to do nothing about this. It's up to us. It's up to us. And we're going to make all of them pay. Oh, the pain. The pain is going to boomerang. A boomerang of pain. They dished it out. Let's see how they take it. All right, everybody. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. I'm fighting for you. And we'll see what happens with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. I really don't care at this point. I mean, I lost the PCT. I lost the international rights. Not just to one patent, to six. 6 oral health patents. One item, a $70 trillion loss. You think I'm going to be sweating bullets if patent office doesn't straighten things out? It's all right. It'll get straightened out later because they this paperwork here already put in a claim for 3.8 trillion. My direct loss is 70 trillion. But there's a lot of other bad actors that got to pay their part. It wasn't just the patent office acting alone here. No, the bar's got a big part of this. The National Institute of Health has a big part of this. And I'm guessing pharma's got something to do with this. And certainly the shadow banning of tech has something to do with this. It's a lot to overcome, but we are overcoming. We're going to win this. So, all right, folks, I'll be back. How many times can I say I'm done and then keep talking?